Yeah, it's your boy, Win and I'm back here with another video. They were reacting to 10 horrible ways animals can end your life. Well, end you, basically, but still, you understand what I mean. Yeah, I've seen this guy long before on TikTok. Oh, bro, his videos are always amazing, funny as hell. And I can see he's one of them smart niggas that made it out the hood. So props to him. But anyways, let's get into the video because I'm working already. Get into this video steady. It's a really long video, 20 minutes. So
Hope y'all didn't think you were safe just cause Halloween's over. This video was actually supposed to be posted on Halloween, but I don't even have an excuse, it just be like that. Not much of an intro this time, so here's 10 horrible ways animals can put your autobiography in the history section. Not necessarily in order, but it does get brutal, so I'm gonna do something I've never done before. Viewer discretion is very much advised. That's the only warning you're gonna
see YouTube. Viewer discretion is advised. So if you don't want to see this, click off the video, please. I have warned you guys. He's warned you. So now you guys know. YouTube knows, so I don't get demonetized.
And again, when that music starts, it's up. Also, I kind of owe y'all more Halloween content, so if this gets a certain number of likes, I'll do a part 2. All that aside, let's get to the content.
That's horrible.
When you think of some of the apex predators on the planet, you might think of heavyweights like lions, bears, crocodiles, and of course you got the biggest bully in the ocean. Not the seal, but the killer whale dragging it. But what you probably don't think of is a prehistoric steroid gecko found on only remote islands in the world. And that's exactly what makes the Komodo dragon one of the most underrated killers on the planet. This homicide lizard can grow to 10 feet long, weigh nearly 200 pounds, can swim, and can run faster than your mental health is prepared for. This video isn't sped up, but the most lethal thing about them is something you can't see. The Komodo dragon has up to 60 razor-sharp serrated kitchen knives for teeth tough enough to dissect a full-grown buffalo and tear flesh in chunks. But it's how they catch their prey that's unsettling. It was believed that a Komodo's septic bite was potent enough to cause its victim to retire to a bacterial infection. But it turns out this modern-day dinosaur uses a toxic venom that it injects into its prey. This venom reduces the body's blood clotting abilities and makes it more likely for you to bleed out once wounded. Other symptoms include lowering of blood pressure, shock, and muscle paralysis, and that last one's going to be real important later. The venom's so powerful that just one bite can be a death sentence for a tank like a water buffalo. Which means Komodos don't have to waste energy trying to chase down a meal. All they have to do is critically wound their prey and then wait for them to die. And because these reptiles that time left behind are only found on remote islands, and they have a borderline disrespectful sense of smell, there's almost no point on the island you can go where this lizard Liam Neeson won't eventually track you down. And the reason paralysis being a symptom is such a problem is because Komodos won't exactly wait for their prey to be past tense, just as long as they're too weak to fight back or run away. Cause these lizards will eat their prey alive, with the only relief coming when you eventually flatline the blood loss. And even though venom's the main suspect, you can still get clapped by a slow, painful bacterial infection. The first response of animals like buffalo after they've been wounded is to escape into nearby water. Going into unclean water with an open wound is how you lose your life to a horrific case of sepsis, and again, your life doesn't have to end for his meal to begin. Not only have Komodo dragons been known to attack humans, they've been recorded seeking out human graves, digging out the corpses, and then feeding on whatever human remains they find. Nothing on this island is safe from a Komodo.
These niggas are menace. Bro, I'm so, like Bodie said, I'm so happy that I don't live on them remote islands. I live on a nice, beautiful island with nice sunset, nice blue sky. Blue sky. I don't care what y'all have to say. It's gonna be a blue sky. Yeah. Nice blue sky and beautiful people and no dangerous animals. The only dangerous animal you can say we have that's not even from here is the boa. Yeah, serpent.
Not even another Komodo. Cause Komodo hatchlings will spend most of their childhood up in the trees. Why? Adult Komodos are cannibals that'll devour any young dragons they run into, even if it ends up being their own children. We're talking about a 10-foot venomous steroid chameleon that'll track you down no matter.
Bro, look at this thing.
Where you go and will friendly fire its own kind. And it's only the first animal on this list. We talked about these winged bastards a couple videos ago, so this is going to be a quick one. Now, plenty of birds eat other birds, but few are as sadistic about it as these overgrown ice vultures. Even though giant petrels are scavengers, they will target and jump weaker, injured penguins, as well as snatch up any unaccompanied penguin chicks they can find. Just like a lot of animals you're going to see on this list, giant petrels will eat their struggling prey alive in groups, and they have a nasty habit of breaking
They look like dodos, but smaller.
in through the back door. I can't show you, but there are videos of these prison pigeons pulling out the intestines of a penguin through its anus, all while the penguin was alive and fighting for his life and the sanctity of his booty. He lost both. And it's not just penguins that get victimized. Giant petrels will attack other seabirds like the albatross and put them out of commission by forcing them underwater until they drown. But nobody gets it worse than penguins. The giant petrel is so vicious that once one snatches a chick, its parents usually won't even bother trying to save its life. Meaning Happy Feet could have ended with Mumble getting brutally shawshanked by a gang of flying booty bandits, all while his parents just sat and watched. And since a penguin's vital organs are—
Bro, penguins can't do nothing about it. Like, somebody needs to teach a penguin kung fu. That's a good movie. Kung Fu Panda to the north, where you will find like a master penguin that will have to fight, I don't know, something evil. I don't know, a buffalo or a mule or ox. Hey, that would have been a sick movie though. But bro, penguins cannot fight. They can barely jump. Well, this is not fair.
protected by a layer of fat, penguins can take a lot of damage before permanently piecing out. Alternatively, penguins can suffer through hours of abuse before experiencing the sweet release of death. One researcher watched a gang of about 20 petrels tear apart a penguin that had already been mauled by a fur seal until there was nothing but a skeleton with feet attached. Don't think you're safe. The southern giant petrel has been nicknamed a stinker because they'll feed on any rotting, decaying carcass, to the point where these birds will tailgate boats and consume whatever foul, putrid nastiness the sailors dumped off. Petrels eat the same way they live, with no conscience. So if you're ever injured or incapacitated somewhere in the Antarctic,
even if I'm injured, I got a strap up here. Wow!
pray that help finds you before this bird does. You won't be a fan of how that movie ends. It'll end the same way if you're ever chased by a pack of African—
I don't even want to talk about these niggas. I hate them so much. I just hate these niggas so much.
Hyenas are everything African wild dogs are.
I still can't believe hyenas, bro. These things are so ugly. And I still can't believe that hyenas have the most weirdest way of life, bro. Like, I literally don't understand hyenas. Because the woman has a V, they have a V, and they have a P. And they are bigger than the niggas. They are bigger than the man. So they can be the man and woman in the... Anyways.
But on juice. And even though hyenas are genetically closer to cats and mongooses, hyenas basically behave like dogs on steroids. Thanks to Lion King, people believe hyenas were just cowardly scavengers that only—
Yeah, damn, that nigga just said, screw the elephant. What you got in here, buddy?
survive by scrounging a living off of other animals. The truth is, not only do hyenas personally murk 70 to 80% of their meals, they're actually more efficient at it than lions are. And it's all because hyenas and African wild dogs have one very unsettling thing in common. They're both serial killers on Duracell, meaning the bastards never get tired. Spotted hyenas can run at high speeds for over 5 miles without even thinking about being tired. Which is why they don't have to ambush or one-shot their prey like lions, they'll just chase them into oblivion until one of them gives up. And hyenas don't give up. It doesn't help that hyenas have jaws strong enough to amputate a rhino. With a bite strength of about 1,000 pounds of force, hyenas are tough enough to eat virtually any part of an animal. They have such a habit of eating the bones of the deceased that their poop often comes out white. With a vice grip for a mouth and the eating habits of a coffin, if a clan of hyenas is your series finale, then the only thing your family will have left to bury are memories. Cause once you're on this overgrown mongoose's meal prep, there won't be a lot of you left to put in a casket. And since there can be up to 80 members in a clan, and just one can take down 30 pounds of meat in one sitting, you would basically be a Ritz cracker to them. But if I'm being honest, the real reason hyenas are on this list is because of this video, and guys, y'all gonna feel this one.
Woo! Oh, that is a straight. Oh, that's good. Oh, Bro. Even though I'm not animal, bro, that shit gonna hurt. Oh, bro, can I zoom in? I can't zoom in. Shit. Bro, wait, let me see if I can zoom in. No, I can't zoom in, but bro, oh my gosh, look at this, bro. Oh,
Hyenas have a devious habit of going for the family honeypot, but it is for a reason. Hyenas don't have the ability to instantly end their prey the way big cats do. So for larger animals like the buffalo, it's way easier to perform a hands-free vasectomy and just wait for blood loss to do the work for you. Imagine a mousetrap on your baby factory, but with the force of an adult moose stepping on it. Yeah.
6.
This next animal is probably going to be the most unexpected on this list, but
The
let me
wolf?
paint a picture. Take a wolverine, right? Put it on creatine, give it the personality of a power tool, and then dump it in the same area code as some of the most vicious carnivores in the jungle. This face of generational trauma belongs to the sloth
Black bear?
Yes, the one
Sloth
from
bear.
Jungle Book. Sloth bears may not look like much, they're easily dwarfed by some of the more brolic bears, one of which may be on this list. They're not even super notorious predators, as insectivores, a sloth bear's grocery list is mostly ants and termites. But don't let the sloth in its name fool you, these furry chainsaws know how to get active.
I've
Sloth
never seen
bears
a
share an
sloth bear.
environment with leopards and tigers have been known to actively hunt and eat them, which is why the sloth bear is one of the most aggressively homicidal bears out there. Even though they have a size disadvantage, a pissed off slothy has been known to drive off even the most motivated tiger. And sometimes these bears clutch a 2v1. And since sloth bears can't escape in trees like American black bears, it's like nature told this dark-skinned poo that violence was his only option. Years of character development means that
Ooh, what is this? Bro, that's not even funny, G. That's like a whole alien. You sure this is a bear or an alien, bro? Cause a hybrid alien. 'Cause damn. Nigga looking like Predator.
this demon yogi will view almost anything alive as a threat, and that includes humans. Sloth bear attacks are incredibly brutal. The same claws they use to destroy concrete-like termite mounts can disembowel you with one swipe. And unlike grizzlies, because sloth bears do have to worry about predators, they're much more likely to attack unprovoked. According to first-hand accounts, sloth bears will often maul their victims and then chew and suck on their limbs until they're reduced to a bloody, mushy pulp. Sloth bears also typically go for the face, incapacitating their victims while biting and slashing to the point where neither your mother or your iPhone can recognize you. And of course, an animal that motivated usually won't stop until you're not moving. Which is why even in tiger country, more people get sent to the emergency room by the Balus of the jungle. And if you're really unlucky, if one's able to sever a critical artery with those adamantium fingernails, then your series finale will involve you
Adamantium.
bleeding into the afterlife. One man was able to survive a particularly brutal mauling at the hands or paws of this bear. He recalled feeling immense pressure as the bear tackled him, put its full weight on him, and crushed his leg in its jaws like a celery stick. When the bear was put out of commission, the man thought he got off easy. Until he looked at his leg and realized the bear had torn an entire chunk of his flesh, to the point where he could see his muscles moving. And in rare cases, these bears have been known to stat pad. One infamous bear known as the sloth bear of Mysore had a human body count of at least 12 people while having also severely mauled another dozen. So when I call this bear a box cutter with claws, I'm talking about both its personality and the way its victims tend to look after. But of course, it's not the only bear on this list.
I know it's gonna be the number one or the first bear. It's gonna be easy.
Because when you're one of the few animals that'll actively hunt humans,
Easy,
you're guaranteed.
I don't even need to talk about this nigga. 'Cause he is a white and Caucasian white and
The African wilderness has some of the most vicious and violent predators on the planet. Some of them we've actually already talked about. So it says a lot that out of all of them, the one nicknamed Black Death is actually a vegetarian. The African Cape Buffalo erases about 200 names from the census each year. That's not counting the people that live but still get severely gored. They're also strong enough to ragdoll top tiers like lions, hyenas, and of course, people. Those horns aren't just for intimidation. When a Cape Buffalo charges, the hooked end of its horns can get caught under the skin and tear apart the flesh of a predator or a tourist that just doesn't know any better. Of course, at 1,300 pounds, they don't need horns to end you, they can easily just trample you into a chalk outline. But there's another thing about them that makes them not only a walking obituary, but earned them another nickname, the Widowmaker. Cause one of the fastest ways to get a divorce is to tell your husband to go hunt a Cape Buffalo, cause then you'll probably go to bed single. And that's cause this Widowmaker is one of the most vengeful animals on earth. A wounded Cape Buffalo will often retreat and hide in tall grass or brush. Now if the hunter has more than one brain cell, he'll usually just give up and leave the beast alone. But if you make the mistake of following the injured animal, then you run the risk of getting ambushed and knocked clear into the ground.
Bro,
And after hitting you, the Cape Buffalo will
shoot
just
him.
back up and wait for you to get back on your feet just so they can hit stick you again. They'll keep doing this until you just stop getting up. And that's just what one can do to you. These guys can travel in hoods of up to 200. And these herds will often circle a possible threat, leaving no possibility for escape. And they'll just keep circling until one eventually sees an opening and attempts to impale you. And the same rules apply. If you're still moving, they're not finished. That kind of attitude is why lions cosplay as house cats when a herd of buffalo is involved, and why hunting one should come with a life insurance package. And out of the entire starting lineup known as the African Big Five, these murder cows are considered to be the biggest threat. But ironically, one of the most feared mammals on the entire continent isn't on.
Wait, how the heck is this the Big Five? Jaguars a Big Five? What? Wait. No, yeah, hippo. Where's the hippo, bro? Jaguar out of all the. All right, I know. Tigers are more like, yeah, of course they're more like Asia, Africa, but hippos are Africa too, bro. What?
This list. Yeah, no suspense here. Hippos are just waterproof horses with a sender's address from hell. Hippos put about 500 names in Twitter bios a year, and that number is probably higher. They're famous for choosing violence with anything in their territory, from antelope and crocodile, all the way to lions, humans, and literally everything else. Like if you have a pulse, they'll find a reason to hate you.
Come here.
In fact, the biggest threat to a hippo's way of life is very literally often another hippo. Because oftentimes when resources are low, bull hippos will see babies as competition and will turn the adorable infants into fish food. Here's a dark joke for you. Where did the baby hippo go after the baby shower? Everywhere. He went everywhere. Despite being the third heaviest thing on the planet with legs, hippos can run at speeds of 30 miles per hour. And they can outswim you, or technically outrun, because hippos don't swim, they literally run underwater. And I don't think that makes this video any better. But just like
Bro, like, how is that fair, bro? You are like 10 times my weight, and you still can run faster than me underwater? If that's underwater, imagine on land, bro. Like, how's that fair? How is that fair, bro? That is not fair.
actress Tiana Trump, it's that mouth that makes them infamous. Bull hippos have tusks that can max out at 20 inches long, and they can slam their jaws at nearly 2,000 pounds of force. But if you've ever seen one eat a watermelon, you already knew that. Which is why the biggest mistake a croc can make is pull up to a hippo pool party, because it can end up getting turned into a purse. And the biggest mistake a person can make is getting too close. I hope this is photoshopped. Hippos are one of those animals that don't need a reason to turn you into a statistic. Hippos don't typically eat meat, but their attack style involves using that massive overbite and chewing a person into
How the heck is that, bro? You can literally swallow a person. Bro, they literally has the vacuum built. Like it's butting us up here. Then you have the big sucker, and then
human applesauce. And it's the attacks in water that are the most brutal. Even if you survive, the toll for crossing hippo territory can cost an arm, a leg, multiple broken bones, and even a punctured lung or two. One tourist guide in Zimbabwe was allegedly swallowed by this land whale not once, but 3 times. And you want to know the worst thing about getting deep-throated by this obese demon donkey? Other than the smell. It's knowing that your options are to either stay inside and suffocate, or try to escape and end up negotiating your left arm in the process. As for the tourist guide, by the time he got out, he had suffered 38 bite wounds, including one so nasty it exposed his lungs and completely crushed one of his arms. This man rescued an orphan baby hippo from a flood and raised him as his own. He even named it Humphrey and said it was like a son to him. Well, Humphrey ended up mauling and mutilating his foster father in the same river he was rescued from. That's honestly how most movies with hippos end. But at least hippos are so
Well, so this is why I will aid and I will walk with a strap. No matter how much I love the hippo or the animal that I've raised, lion, tiger, hippo, crocodile, bro. I swear, the moment you do, wow! Like, what's this, bro? Crazy.
massive they're impossible to miss. The next animal is the size of a golf ball, but could turn 26 people into a very loaded story on CNN.
Oh, well.
The blue ring octopus is a
I'm good. I'm good, bro. This nigga just chose the most venomous animal that we have on our planet, physically on our planet. Like, how is that fair, bro? Like, look how small this thing. I could just step on him, and I will die before he does. Like, how is that fair, bro?
A lot of things. Tiny, cute, and it's one of the most venomous things alive. It's armed with a neurotoxin called tetrodotoxin, and the lethal dose for a human could fit on the head of a pin. Plenty of animals are venomous in Australia, from the jellyfish right down to the peris. But there's one disturbing fact about blue ring octopus. The blue ring octopus is so small that most people don't even realize when they've been bitten. And because they're so small and cute, some people will put...
Bro, look, my people, them. I think you understand what I'm about to say, but what did he just say?
But there's one disturbing fact about blue ring octopus. The blue ring octopus...
First of all, what is this? What is this? What is this right here? Which color?
Octopus is so small that most people don't even realize when they've been bitten. And because they're
Again, which color?
so small and cute, some people will put the octopus, meaning you can hold...
Again, which color? Which color? Like, bro, my people will not do this. We already start off with struggling. Like, imagine struggling like this. Doing this. Playing with life, bro.
not realize you've been wounded. And without medical attention, the chance of your soul getting evicted suddenly becomes a lot higher. Which means this lady just barely Eurostep becoming a name on a stone in one of the worst ways possible. Cause anything that tries this hard to be seen is probably more toxic than Future. That goes for octopus and people.
Number one, okay.
This last one deserves its own viewer discretion warning because in some ways it's the most disturbing animal on this list.
Yeah,
Not
listen.
only does it have the highest human body count, you can be a victim and not even realize it. That's because it's believed that over 1 billion people in the world are infected with parasitic worms. They're especially a problem in places with limited access to clean drinking water. But don't think this is just some third world problem. All you have to do is swim in waters containing eggs and you can lose the lottery and become a landlord to these parasites. Once inside you, these worms can cause a bunch of nasty infections and complications, but there's one disease that really stands out. These demonic flesh ropes are filarial worms, and they're as thin as sewing threads. And their favorite hangout spot is in your lymph nodes, where a bunch of them can block fluids from leaving the body, which can cause tissues in the body to swell almost like a disturbing cartoon. Which is how a worm you need a microscope to see can cause a nightmarish condition known as elephantiasis. The situation where your leg can swell to the same size and color as an elephant's. And it doesn't just give you Dumbo-sized cankles. All guidelines will allow me to say is Google South Park wheelbarrow. Get infected with filarials and you might need one. But the unsettling part is you may never know you've been violated by filarials until it's too late. Millions of people around the world are infected and a lot of them have no idea. Which means, of course, statistically, someone watching this video has to have it. If it makes you feel any better, if you live in America, you apparently can't get infected with filarial worms. But you're not safe from the hundreds of other parasites that can turn your insides into an Airbnb. Around the world, hundreds of millions of people are infected with parasitic worms as we speak. And if you happen to be asymptomatic, they can put a whole mortgage down on your body and you would be the last to know. And that's just about it for this video. If you actually enjoyed this video, first of all...
Oh, thank goodness this video is over. I'm done with this video. I'm sorry, guys. This is being for Win, and I'm out, bro. I'm done. Goodbye.